The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLines with Nick Eatman.
What's up, everybody? This is Cowboys StoryLine. I'm Nick Eatman here, and yeah, this feels weird. It definitely does feel weird. I'm used to 19 seasons of doing it with other people here, and of course, Derek Eagleton. But every break needs a break. You know, Cowboys break. It's time to kind of move on, do something different. And there's no issue. There's no drama. Nothing that happened or anything like that. Just trying to always at DallasCowboys.com, always trying to do something different. Always adding to the mix of what we're doing. And you know, I think we've mastered the podcast of 3 people, 4 people. It's time to try something a little different. That's what we're doing. We're going to try it different. I say it looks like I'm flying solo here, but I'm not. I'm not, because this is not just my show. This will be your show, and I mean that. This will be your show. This will be a fan show. Fan engagement is going through the roof here, and we'll do this throughout the show today. We had a ton of tweets that came in. When we get back to the Star, we're going to be doing a lot of the phone lines, and you know, those Mondays after games, win or loss, which hopefully there's going to be a lot more wins, obviously. But we know that you guys have a lot to say. And some of the other podcasts, we haven't got a chance to do that as much. But this one will be dedicated to the fans. I'm really excited about that. And you know what? I'm here to kind of give my input as well on some of your take. It's not right or wrong. It's just going to be my opinion. And we know you guys have great opinions as well. We're going to get to some questions here as well. Cowboys StoryLine. We kind of went back and forth for a while trying to come up with the name. Really wanted to emphasize line because we're going to have a lot of calls. Not so much here, but like I said, when we get back. But also the storyline, that's what matters the most. And that's something that we'll do every single show, including this one. We're going to go through the storylines. Now, I do know that also sounds very similar to Story Time, and we did that a few years ago, Story Time with Nick, and hey, I'm all about doing that, and there will be times where I will bust out a story, and that will be a part of the show as well, but not for today, because we got too many things to do, and we also have a big-time guest coming. Trevon Diggs will be here in the second segment, and we're really excited about that, because he's had a pretty big week, pretty busy week. They're signing this $100 million contract. He also talked to the media as well today, but also is going to be joining us here, and we're excited about that just to see what he's thinking now that he's got that contract signed. I bet you knowing him, it won't be hardly any different because that's kind of who he is. That is one of the storylines. Let's go right to the storylines. That is one of them. Obviously, that was a big one for yesterday. Today, I think the big storyline, first day of practice. I mean, not the pads aren't on yet, but they're on the field. And yes, if you see the big shells, I mean, that's the protective shields that they're wearing, try to prevent concussions. It looks weird, but also cuts down concussions. It is what it is. All right, who wasn't wearing one was Zach Martin. And this is now the second day that he is not here. Looks like a $50,000 fine each day, and it's obviously a thing. This is something that to be concerned about, mainly because you want your veteran guy here. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that Zach Martin's not practicing, because he's the type of guy that can jump right in and do his job. But what kind of message does it send to the team? Who knows? Who knows? And these players know it's a business, and they also know that he is the best football player on the team and the most consistent player on the team. So I'm sure that they want him to do what's best for him. And, I talked to Stephen Jones today, and he understands it's a business, and, they're going to make it work. And I think the best thing was that yesterday Jerry said he's in our plans. He's going to be in the plans. And so I don't think at the end of the day or the end of the camp, I don't think it's going to be a huge thing. Now, let's go to the actual practice. It's supposed to be safe out there. It wasn't so good for the safeties. Donovan Wilson limped off the field today. They actually rode off in a cart. Leg injury, calf. Maybe the Cowboys aren't saying at the time of taping here. They aren't saying exactly what it is, but we saw he was limping off, and not a good thing for him. He signed a big contract the offseason and a big focal point of the defense. before that, Israel Mukwamu also left practice, and he left and came back in street clothes. So he did not finish. Two safeties did not finish practice. I would say two of your top four, including Donovan Wilson, who arguably is your best one, he had the most tackles and made the most plays. So we'll get some information on that. That was obviously a tough one right there. And then also another storyline, I think you're just always going to be looking at the kickers. You know, you've got these two guys, Tristan Vizcaino, Brandon Aubrey. And I will say this is not the best place in the world to be having kicking tryouts. Now, it is what it is. It's great for a lot of other things. That's why they come to camp. But as for kickers, Jonathan Garibay will tell you last year, not a great spot because they usually kick right into the wind. It's kind of a swirling wind around here. And so it's tough to get a good read when you're trying to do that. I think preseason games are actually the best, but you can hurt yourself by missing a lot of kicks. So we saw some kicks today. Some of them were off the mark, but again, I don't think it's early to panic. They're not the only two guys trying out. The rest of the kickers that are available, not under contract, are also trying out as well. We can kind of know how that goes. Okay. Before we get to the break and get to talk to Trevon, I do want to have a couple of questions, and I wanted to go with a couple of old school guys that have been around since the first time I was doing any kind of podcast, whatever it was called. Jesse Haney, Roanoke, Virginia, and just his Twitter handle is Cowboys Addicts. That just tells you what kind of fan we are here. Jesse Haney, Roanoke, Virginia. He says, if Schoonmaker wasn't starting on the NFL, who would be getting the most starter reps in camp? He said it's starting on NFI. I think it's Jake Ferguson. That's what I think would be starting. I still think Jake Ferguson will probably be the starter there. They all do something different, but I think you want your starting tight end to be your complete tight end. And I think Ferguson right now does that better than really anyone else. And then one more here before we go to break. William Houchins. And William, I actually know him personally, and I know this offseason has been a really tough year for him personally. I just want to say, give him my condolences there on the stuff that he's gone through. But Cowboy fan, still asking questions first day, boom. Is this a make-or-break year for Chauncey Golston? I'd like him to be on the 53, but he could get caught up in a numbers game. He could. It is. I think there's going to be some drafted defensive linemen that don't make it. I mean, just look at the guys you said. Golston being one of them, Quentin Bohanna. I mean, when you look at draft picks, it's going to be tough to get everybody. The thing about Golston, though, he's got position flex, good position flex, and I mean that. There could be bad position flex because you never graded anything, but he's got good position flex because he can slide inside, he can play defensive end, he can play tackle, and there will be injuries. And think about it. If he was your fifth defensive end and your fifth tackle, you don't have to take 10 guys to the game. You take 9 to the game, and he can be a backup in 2 spots. Anytime you can be a backup in 2 spots, it provides value, and I think Chauncey Golston will certainly bring that. All right, let's go to break here, and when we come back, it's going to look a little different around here because we're going to have Trevon Diggs joining us. He can talk about that new contract and a lot of other things as the first day of camp. This is Cowboys Storylines.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel Attend the best tailgate party in Texas? Tour the Star and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
We got the first guest here, Trevon Diggs. First guest ever on this show, so we knew we had to come strong here.
Yep.
So tell us, before we get into camp, I mean, anything happened this week? Anything big happened in your life? Life changed at all in any way?
No.
Yeah, really, no, nothing.
Nah.
Just so $100 million contracts are just fine. Tell us about what the contract means. I know you've talked about it before. Try not to make a big deal, but what does a contract mean to sign it, especially the first week here at camp?
It means a lot. I'm truly thankful. Truly, grateful. I thank God every day just to be able to take care of my family, take care of my loved ones. So, I'm just very appreciative, and I just love how the organization, can show their appreciation for me, and want me here for, long term, and they see me in their future plans and see me, trying to build this thing and win a Super Bowl. So, I'm just truly thankful, truly grateful, and, it just means a lot.
Young Trevon Diggs growing up in Maryland, would you ever have thought $100 million type contracts, or with you and Stephon, was that always the goal, just to be at that level?
Yeah, I feel like, ever since we were little, we always, just wanted to, maximize our opportunity of football. And I feel like, playing at the highest level, being at the highest stage, we're doing that, and, just continuing, just trying to, just become great, become, Hall of Famers at the end of the day, and just, go down in history as one of the best. I feel like that's my main goal now, is just taking one season at a time. And just working, trying to get better every year, and just putting up a good resume.
You've always been kind of a humbled, soft-spoken guy. So soft-spoken, I'm going to put this up on the social so
I got you.
We can make sure I hear. But I was kind of joking earlier, anything happened, did your life change? But realistically, I mean, does a contract like that change your life, change you as a person, your values and all that stuff? I know it's a lot. It's a ton of money. You can take care of people, but I imagine it doesn't change your mindset and your focus, especially when you get out here.
Nah, it doesn't change my mindset, my focus, especially not on the field. I feel like I probably just have to start carrying myself a different way, off the field. But, on the field, I feel like, it just makes me more hungry, makes me want to work harder, makes me want to show, that, I earned it, and I'm going to keep, going and keep, putting my best foot forward and just trying to be the best person I can be.
Was being, I think the numbers are all different, but it looks like tied for the top 5 in corners and highest paid. Was being number one a goal, or was it getting it done and kind of getting it out of the way that was more important?
I wasn't more so, concerned about being number one, Well, number one isn't far from number 4 or 3, 2, so it's all around the same. It doesn't really matter, but at the end of the day, what matters is I'm able to take care of my family, able to take care of, the things that I want to do, and, now I can just get to work and just focus extremely on football and, not have to worry about anything.
One more about the contract. What does Big Brother think about it? I mean, he's gotten paid before too. So,
yeah.
But what does he think about it? And did he help you at all in the process when you were kind of going through the contract?
Yeah, most definitely. I had a lot of mixed feelings, mixed emotions, especially this off season. He just kind of took me under his wing and was just like, I know how you're feeling and what you're going through right now because I was in the same position that you were in. So he just kind of just showed me how to go about it, and how we went about it was more so just working every day, continuing to train, and just sticking to the script, just doing what we do. He's like, just trust God and everything's gonna be able to take care of itself.
You don't have to name names, but how many people have kind of hit you up on your cell phone of like, hey, remember me? Does that kind of happen? College buddies or friends or whatever, like, oh, I got paid.
Yeah, that typically happens, but I feel like when I got drafted, I kind of got those people out of my life already. Now it's just people reaching out saying they're proud of me and good job. So I can't be thankful enough.
All right, well, talk us through being out here. What is it like to not put on the pads yet, but put on the uniform, be out here in this weather, which is still kind of hot, but it's better than what we're used to. What does it mean to be out here with the guys again?
It means a lot. I miss it. But it came by quick. From last off season, this off season I feel like has been the fastest. It came quick, and I'm just excited to be out here. Excited to be with them, and excited to get this thing rolling. I feel like we got a really, really good chance this year. Going all the way. So I just want to do everything I can to help. Bring everyone aboard, and just help to win a Super Bowl.
You played against the Colts last year.
Yep.
I think after the game, maybe even took a photo with Stephon Gilmore.
Yep.
No tampering issues here. Not that you were recruiting him, but you knew the talent that he can bring to the table, and so when you signed him and added him, what is that going to do for you in your game?
Yeah, most definitely. Me and Stephon have a good relationship. We always just kept in touch. I always asked him about things that he see on the field that I'm doing, things that he does on the field. I'm still asking him questions till today. So, I've always had a strong relationship with him, and now I'm happy that I can see it in practice, see how he goes about his work. He's very professional, take care of his work, and I'm just, going to keep continuing to take notes. I think he's in his 13th season or something like that.
Nice.
So, he's doing something right. So, I just want to learn, soak up all the information I can just to help my career.
All right, just a couple more minutes here. I heard a story that you took Micah in there with you when you signed the contract yesterday. What was said there? And is Micah, I heard Steven tell him, hey, don't expect this kind of money. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's expected even more than that.
Yeah, I feel like he's expecting even more than that for sure. Micah, he came, as one of my closest friends. That just showed, what type of person he is, just the support. He's always there supporting me, and I'm always there for him. He's a great kid, and, I can be, more thankful to have a friend and a teammate.
All right, last one. I'll give it to you that signing that contract is probably the best thing that's happened to you this week. But also just wanted to remind you that the documentary that we did with Everson Walls at your 24/7 just got nominated for Best Documentary for an Emmy. So nominated, we'll see. I'm sure that doesn't necessarily weigh as high.
Nah, that sounds about good. That sounds about right.
Definitely appreciate you being a part of it, taking us into your home, your family. We got to cover you there in Maryland, and that was awesome. So we're really excited about that. Hopefully we'll win some hardware as well. So thank you for doing that. But
that'd
also,
be awesome.
Trevon, thanks for stepping by here, and I know it's hot, but you guys are about to get after it here.
Yep.
Last one, can this be the best defense in the NFL?
No, 100%. That's our goal, be number one in all categories.
All right, perfect. All right, that's Trevon Diggs, Cowboys cornerback. Thank you so much for being the first guest. We'll be right back here on Cowboys StoryLine.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
All right, welcome back to the final segment here of Cowboys Storyline, first ever show. And we really want to thank Trevon Diggs for joining us. That was pretty awesome. You know, he doesn't say a whole lot, even when he gets $100 million contracts. He just doesn't say a lot. That's him, but that's actually something kind of refreshing. Okay, as we said earlier, and we saw it a couple times with we had a couple of fan questions, but that's really what the backbone of this show is going to be. Not so much here. We're still going to work on that. When we out here, we're going to get some fan engagement, but when we get back to the Star, we're going to hit it with calls and tweets and all that. And we sent out the tweet this morning, and you guys were unbelievable with all these questions. So that's what we're going to do to kind of wrap it up here. We're going to kind of go through some of these questions. Most of these are from tweets. So we'll go right at it. All right, Brandon Laurie, how surprised were you the Cowboys got the deal done with Diggs before Lamb, before Dak? Really not surprised because deadlines make deals, and they really weren't on a deadline with Diggs, but probably more of a deadline than any other of these guys. If he goes out, has 5 interceptions, has 7, 8, 10 interceptions, what's the price going to be then? I mean, you had to look at it from that perspective. So, and then he could be an unrestricted free agent if you didn't get a deal done this year. So I think it's actually not surprising that they got a deal done with him first because, you know, he's the guy that wasn't under contract for the next 2 years. All right, STX Mario, what's the biggest question headed into training camp? Do you expect it to be answered by August 15th? Well, the biggest question changed. It was just, you know, position battles and how these new guys are going to fit in, but it's Zach Martin right now. It's Zach Martin. I think that's the biggest question, as we talked about in the first segment. But that's – do I expect it to be answered by August 15th? Yeah, I do. I say it's a big question because you don't know what's happening. It's obviously something for him to miss some time, but he's in the plans long term. I think it's going to get resolved, and I think from the fans' perspective – he's going to be playing right guard for them, which is really all that matters at the end of the day. All right, British and Irish Eagles. Who wins the NFC East this year? Cowboys. Okay, see, we're moving through these. Easy. All right, Parisa Michelle. What one player are you looking forward to watch at camp? Did the Cowboys front office do things better this offseason than previous years? Yes, I think they did, and I think the reason why is those trades. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of trades like that in the middle of, like, to start free agency, and adding Gilmore and adding Cooks. Not only does that help the team and help the position, but think about what's around them. Think about who's opposite of Diggs. You signed Gilmore. He's not your best corner. The $100 million man is the best corner, but how much better is he going to be because of Gilmore? How much better is CD and Gallup going to be because of Brandon Cooks? How much better is Dak going to be because of Brandon Cooks? All these question marks, and I do think that's very important for this offseason. So to answer the question, which one player are you most looking forward to watching? Oh, man, there's 30. I mean, there's 40. I mean, there's kickers. There's young receivers. You know, Jalen Tolbert's an easy answer there. The Malik Davis running back there. You know, but I always say this about training camp. At camp, any practice, it's hard to actually see who's doing what. That's why receivers are good. Did they catch it? Did they not? Did the quarterback make the throw? Did they not? Because every running back goes 100 yards. I mean, it's hard to kind of see the big boys in the middle and the runners, but you do know about receivers. So I will say Jalen Tolbert. He's just the guy that I think we're all excited to see. And I've said it 100 times. I'll say it 101. He had 5 catches his freshman year at South Alabama. He had like 65 his sophomore year. He made some kind of jump between freshman and sophomore year. Let's see if he can do that here when he goes to season 2. All right, Gary Matera, his question, do you feel better about Matt Waletzko playing left tackle if Tyron goes down compared to Farniok Adoga backup situation at left guard? We did a camping out podcast last night, campfire and all that. If you check it out if you can. We had a lot of fun. I still think Patrick Walker's getting marshmallow out of the headset, out of his hands. We did s'mores, all that was fun. But the question to me was, which young player are you really excited about seeing? And I said Matt Waletzko. He's a guy that I think can kind of be under the radar here and really help this team. Left tackle, maybe guard. You know, he got a shoulder injury last year. He only played just a little bit, like a week or two. They liked what they saw in that time. So now that he's got a year under his belt, the shoulder is fixed. He's super tall, big, imposing left tackle. I think he's going to factor into this more than people think. So that great question there by Gary Matera. I definitely think that Waletzko's a guy that we're going to be looking at here. All right, let's move on through these here. More questions. Jamie, @ is Jim Jam 83. I'm usually not going to say their handle, but that's a cool one, Jim Jam 83. And there's lots of Jamie, so I wanted to make sure I got the right one. One thing do you enjoy most about camp? One thing you dislike the most about camp? So we're not always going to be about camp, all about the players on the field. What do you like the most about camp? What do you not like the most? I honestly think, as weird as it sounds, I think it's the same thing. I really do. I like being out at camp. It signals the start of football season. It's fun to be here. The weather is cooler than it's still kind of hot right this second, but still, no one's complaining. It's nice weather. It's why they're here. It's fun to be here. It's fun to do another training camp. The worst part about it is being here, not being with the family, and what happens. Life goes on still back at home, and dealing with that, and just making sure that you kind of button up those situations. But I mean, it's kind of the same thing. There's stress involved really when you leave, but that's this what's not to like really about being out here. And so that's really the only thing. But for the most, it's great to be here. This is, as I said it early on, I mean 25 seasons for me. And there's always something new, something different that I didn't expect. So, and this year, doing campfires, Zach Martin not being here, just weird stuff like that. All right, moving on. Matt Holleran said, which of the following, he's going to make me think here and read. Which of the following do you think would be the most impactful contribution to the season? Is it Gallup returning to form with a 1,000-yard season, Tyron Smith staying healthy, playing 15 regular season games, or D-Law recording 10-plus sacks? D-Law, 10 sacks. Tyron playing 15 regular season games. Gallup, 1,000 yards. Well, that's a good one. I'm going to say Tyron Smith playing 15 games. Because if Tyron Smith plays 15 games, that means the offense is probably pretty good. And even though what I said about Waletzko is still true, I didn't want to be a hypocrite, but I think Gallup can get 1,000 yards if the line's blocking and doing their thing. And if the line is blocking and Gallup's getting 1,000 yards, the Cowboys are scoring points, have the lead, they can pin their ears back on defense, and D-Law can get 10 sacks. So it's a domino effect. I do think that that's a great question. A lot of really good hypotheticals. That's the stuff when I was on show with Brian Broaddus. He would do stuff like that. 3 things that you don't even think match up, but they do. Good question. I'm going to say Tyron Smith. Haven't seen 15 games. Haven't seen that at a Tyron in a few years there. All right. Texa Diana Tony. I think that's right. Do you think Trevon Diggs will avoid a big slump? Sometimes that happens in a huge contract year. Happens. I don't think it really will happen with him. You could make the case that he had a slump last year because he didn't have the same interceptions. You could also make the case that he played better last year, and I think he did. I think he had a better season last year. He dropped some interceptions that it was just like glue the first year. Everything was sticking. But for the most part, he locked down his receiver way better, and so I think he was really, really good. Didn't have the interceptions, but I think Stephon Gilmore on the other side will certainly help. All right, Dawson Keegan. Are we cool running back Brett Maher if the kicker role still hasn't been filled by preseason? Dawson, go to YouTube. Look at the Bucs-Cowboys game. After the third or fourth missed extra point, see what you think. Hey, he was great in the regular season. I think he still hit 12 field goals in a row. But everybody kind of had that thought. I know I did. Like, God, I hope the bottom doesn't come out. And it did. It dropped big time. San Francisco, it carried over. There was no confidence there. I just don't know if you can go back that road again. I really don't. I think there's other veteran options that you would have to take your chances with. All right, let's go through some more here. From Marcus, do you think Sam Williams becomes a full-time starter at the other defensive end spot at some point this year? Maybe, but maybe he doesn't. He led the team in tackles for loss last year, and he played I think he ranked 18th on the defense in snaps. Still led the team in tackles for loss. He kind of lived back there. He needs to play more. I think he will. Does he start? I'm not sure about that, but it doesn't matter. He's going to get in there when it's time to get after the quarterback and get in the backfield, and he did that very, very well last year. All right, Dustin Lowmiller, how big of an impact should we expect out of the guys behind Pollard this season? Do you see Deuce Vaughn being a viable potential number 2? I don't see him being a number 2. I see him being a number 3, because remember, number 2 replaces number 1 when he goes down, if he goes down. Number 3 is a gadget type player. He might stay there. You know, there was times where Pollard stayed at that position and other guys would come in if Zeke needed a rest. So I think Deuce is going to have a role. I don't know if he's RB2. I think that obviously Ronald Jones and Malik Davis are going to have a spot there. All right. So this one is from Dave. Sure there's more than one Dave, but this is the one that tweeted this question. What's going to have the bigger impact and get us over the hump? Dak and his improvement in the passing game or the running game with not a lot of experience behind Tony? Both of them. I mean, they both will have a big play there. All right, keep going here. Eddie from Texas. Is Tyron Smith close to healthy at left tackle, and is Terrence Steele close to 100% at start? The fact that Terrence Steele did not go on PUP is a big, big deal. That means they are not even thinking he could really miss any time. Certainly not going to miss 4 weeks. So, but they feel like he is ready to go. He can start practicing. I kind of think he's going to be a guy that starts at right tackle in week 1. And then the last one, what we've talked about before, kind of wraps up, put a bow on this show here from Tisha Dominicali. Will Zach Martin's situation get resolved quickly? Again, I don't know if it's going to get resolved quickly for him. I think it'll be resolved quickly for you, and you want to see number 70 playing right guard. I think he will do that. I think regardless of what happens, they're going to figure out the contract situation. He's going to be your right tackle. And you know what? If he doesn't play at all here in the preseason or even training camp and he's ready to go against the Giants week 1, cool. Because that means nobody's getting thrown on his leg and ankle, and he, has an injury or anything like that. So he's the type of guy that can get ready. I think he will be ready. It will be resolved to the point that the fans want. And again, like I said, this is a fans show. This has been fun. I never thought I'd have a show like this, and it's good. We're going to be a work in progress. We're going to figure it out. My producer Chris Beam over here, he's going to make it work, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Today was a lot of fun, and the reason was not only because Trevon Diggs was here, but the reason was you guys did a great job on Twitter and sent a lot of questions, so many questions I couldn't get to them all, but I will be able to kind of, the next show, I'll be able to take some of these that you guys sent today and we'll carry over as long as they still fit into the topic because everything changes around here. All right, for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you next time on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!